welcome to the channel. Yeah, do it yourself, semi.
Hey yo, DIY semi. Come on, won't you let me help you simplify what your life needs? Hey yo, DIY semi. Come on, won't you let me help you make a profit in life? Yeah, we gon' break it down, break it down. Come on, make a profit, break it down, break it down. Simplify, don't stop it, break it down, break it down. Come on, make a profit, break it down, break it down. Simplify, don't stop it,
Doing today. Uh-oh. All right, can everybody hear me now? Let's see if I didn't screw up all my settings here in my audio. Well, it looks good. Somebody give me a thumbs up once if you can hear me. Anything? I don't know. I might have screwed up all my settings here, but we'll just keep going. So we're home from Matt's. Got home on Sunday, but had a lot going. Cheap Freight Hauler says you can't hear. I think you're messing with me. Yep, messing with me for sure. All right. Getting caught up on a bunch of stuff before I wanted to go live and talk about Matt's. I'm a little late to it, but a lot of things to talk about. Had a good time. It was my first time going, and my wife went with me. We spent the whole 3 days there. Got there mid-morning on Thursday and did the whole show until they closed on Saturday night, Saturday afternoon. So learned a few things. I didn't really know what to expect. I don't really go to look at the pretty trucks. I'm not really into that. I wanted to kind of see all the new stuff and maybe go to a couple seminars. And I missed a couple because I thought they were at different times, so I screwed up there. But so we'll tell you who I met up with, what we did. Met some interesting people. One in particular that you guys you're gonna know this name someday, and yeah, all about it. So we get there on Thursday. Right away, we met up with Paul from Freight Connect. I was really looking forward to that. We hadn't actually hung out in person yet, so that was the first thing we did when we got there. Before we even went past the check-in desk, is we connected there, and that was pretty awesome. He's just as good a guy in person as when he comes on the show with us here, and Paul and my wife got along great. For a while, I thought they were just going to wander off and talk without me. I couldn't hardly keep up, so I just let them do their own thing a little bit. But and then we got to walking. We went around. Well, first of all, I only met up with a few viewers. Jersey Trucker, we met up. He's a really nice guy. A guy named Eben, who was selling that flatbed ladder, and then Rhett Vet Trucker. So we only met up with. I know there's a couple other guys that saw me didn't come up because they were pointing and laughing at me. So I had to assume they knew who I was, or they're just laughing at my bald head. But either way, wish they'd come up and said hello. But that's right. Everybody we met up with, the viewers were really, really nice. So that was pretty cool. And Jersey Trucker introduced me to something called Yingling. I hadn't heard before. Her Yingling. I don't know. It's an East Coast thing. Tried that. That was pretty good. But so we got to walking around. Met up with some different people from YouTube that I met. Obviously, I met up with Super Trucker Dan. Did a little interview with him. He was pretty cool. Really nice guy. That dog is so cute. That beagle, Bailey. That dog is cute as hell. Pretty cool truck. Talked to the Mercer people for a little bit. The lady was. I don't know. I kind of like how they do things there. If I was flatbed, I think I would go more towards the Mercer business model than the Landstar model, but I kind of like how the Mercer system works. Less of that agents competing. Agents don't really compete against each other. Bailey's a corgi. I thought she was a beagle. Okay, my mistake. So yeah, the Mercer thing was pretty cool. Then I went over and met up with Snorlord and Jeff Like over there at the 123 load board and Thunder Funding booth. Hadn't met Jeff before. I met Snorlord before. Hadn't met Jeff before. That was nice. We talked tractors a little bit. One of my favorite things. And but they were pretty busy, so kind of let them do their thing. They were working, promoting those things, and met up with Just Trucking. We bumped into each other a few times. Um, he caught me off guard with a megaphone one time. Started talking smack about the Wisconsin Badgers. So I'm like, I know who that is. Only one person that talked that kind of smack. But we hung out for a few minutes, had a good conversation. That was pretty cool. And met up with Jackknife TV. We hung out for the day on Friday, I think. Spent some time together. Got some lunch. He introduced me to Tim Gentry. I'd been over to their booth or where they had their cab over, but they're super busy. Man, people had that guy running, saying hi and taking pictures. I wasn't about to bother him, and Jackknife's like, "No, come on, man, I gotta introduce you." So he took me over there, introduced me. Really, really nice guy. Um, didn't really know what to say. Everybody's all day talking about his shop that burned down. I'm like, I'm sure the guy's tired of hearing about that, guys. Maybe let that one go. But nice guy. Bought a hat. Don't remember where I put it. It's here somewhere. And then Asian Mai, we met up with him a few times throughout the weekend here, and I went to a seminar. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit here. And then we went to walking around. So there was one. Sorry, the dog's barking. Um, went to walking around. Tons of just every kind of thing you can imagine. They're factoring companies, insurance companies, load boards. I found it pretty ironic. Uber had a big display there. It was unmanned. There was only somebody standing by it for a little bit, and I think they left after they heard enough snide remarks from truck drivers. I found it pretty funny that they didn't care enough to man their own display. I don't think anybody really had anything to say to them. Not a lot of brokers there. C.H. Robinson was there. J.B. Hunt. Um, Load Smart, another digital brokerage. Kind of gave them a little bit of crap. Talked to the DAT people for probably 20, 25 minutes about what are they doing about the fraud and the double brokering and stuff. We had a really good conversation. Managed to get, ironically, the day before, we had a load double brokered through some fraud, and found it out. And I took that information to the people at DAT and managed to get that broker kicked off immediately. So, if there's anything good that came from going to the truck show, it's that we got that broker expelled from the board. So we won't see them on there anymore. And then I gave him some information on a couple others, and she's just like, "There's so much fraud going on right now. We're trying to track IP addresses. We're trying to like double, triple check people's information, and it's like you can't even keep up to it all." She's like, "We're trying to increase our what do you call it? Our vetting process to when new people come on the platform. Trying to do a lot of stuff like that." So they're on top of it a little bit, but like I really don't think that they grasp the level of the amount of it that's going on. So probably going to end up in a DAT commercial because some dude was doing circles around us with a video camera while we were there. So I don't know if you see me in a DAT commercial somewhere. I have no deal with them. They were just using my appearance there as a customer. So we talked about that, and that was actually kind of productive. I'm glad we stopped to talk. They gave us some swag for that, but came home with bags of junk. Most of it just went in the garbage. Um, so we talked to them. Talked briefly to the MUDFLAP people. That booth was really busy. So, but they had some good food out there. Not much going on there. Um, I ran into this insurance company that does new entrants, and that's one of the biggest questions I get from people via email is, what do I do about insurance as a new entrant? It's killing me. And these people will take new entrants, and you say, well, a lot of companies will take new entrants, but yeah, they're a broker, and then they put you on with Progressive. Well, I guess these guys can put you on with another company that is not Progressive. And he claims that they can be 20 to 30% cheaper than Progressive. So I got his basic information. We're going to talk more. I'm going to try and see if I can get him to come on and talk about it, because 20 to 30% on a $25,000 bill or whatever is pretty good money. So uh, that might be a really good solution. We're going to see if we can strike up a relationship there and bring him on to talk about it. He seemed kind of interested, but I don't think he really knew what the hell I was talking about. So I'll have to explain it to him and say, hey, just want to interview you on my YouTube channel. See if people are interested in doing some kind of business like that with you. So that might be good. Stopped and talked to the Ambest people for a little bit. They're really nice folks, giving away that Smokey and the Bandit car. Tried to get a few extra entries in there, but apparently you can only get them by swiping your Ambucks card. So I don't think I'm going to win that one, but that's pretty cool. Where else did we go? Obviously, I went to the ARI booth there where they had the sleepers. That is something you'll never see me own. Oh my gosh, that the amount of money that they have into these things is just crazy. That Buffalo Bills one was absolutely nuts. But the guy's gonna start. So I'm trying to help him start a YouTube channel. He wants to start a YouTube channel, and I told him, you take this truck and put it in every single video that you ever do, and you'll be the biggest YouTube channel out there. That was so the freaking hot tub in there. The video didn't do it justice. All the leather upholstery inside was all buffalo skin. All the inset buttons in the upholstery were buffalo nickels. I mean, the guy spared no expense. I can't imagine how much a buffalo skin interior costs. Buffalo skin leather. I can't imagine that alone what it costs. He did tell me what he's got into the truck, and I'm not even going to repeat it. It's obscene. But that's his passion. So one thing that was missing, the OEMs, the Freightliner, Peterbilt, Kenworth, International. I expected a lot more stuff there from them. Freightliner had trucks, and they had their DD platform out there for everybody to look at. PACCAR had an engine out there, and some various Kenworth and Peterbilt trucks. But Navistar International was surprisingly absent. That's one thing I wanted to see, was the new platform, the S13. See if they had one of those trucks there with the integrated system. Couldn't find one anywhere. They were absent, which really surprises me. You're talking the biggest advertising truck show of the year, something that OEMs should never miss, and they weren't there. I know those spots are very expensive, but it'd be like Chevy missing the biggest auto show of the year. You just don't do that. So I don't know what was up with that. That's something I really wanted to see. Very intrigued by that S13 platform. But they weren't there. So found this thing called COTA, COTA. It's kind of a new software platform. They're letting people try it for free. It's like a downscaled version of a TMS. I'm gonna try it and see. It allows you to dispatch and exchange paperwork with the drivers. I like the simplicity of it. Sure, there's more complicated things out there, but I hate things get too complicated. This thing is really clean and easy, and then plus they offer a service to people that use their software of helping potentially with load matching, and we talked about some of the different things that they're doing, and I thought I would at least give it a chance because it seems to be right up our alley of what we kind of do. I don't expect much, but it didn't cost anything, so I figured I'd give it a try. It's COTA is the name of the company. So we're waiting for them to reach out to me. I missed a couple seminars. I wanted to go to that seminar where the guys talk about, it was all the guys that documented 10 plus miles per gallon, but I missed it because I was off doing something else stupid. So there's a guy, and you're gonna hear this guy's name in the future because he is an absolute freaking animal. As far as he talks about a lot of the same stuff that I do, the business stuff and your numbers, and like he does like mentorships and helps people get their companies going and coaching and stuff like that. But he is super aggressive, like an attack dog. And I like the guy. I went to his seminar. His name is Adam Wakefield. Now remember that name. If you may have already heard him already. He's from down in North Carolina, something like that. South Carolina. I don't know. Adam Wakefield, Innovative Logistics Group. You may have already heard. If you haven't, and you need some help with your trucking business, he doesn't work for free. No, he charges for his mentorships and stuff. But the guy is super intense, and he's gonna. I guarantee you right now, he's gonna become somebody in this industry. He already is, but a lot of people don't know about him yet. Very good speech that he gave about your business, and it was. Well, let me back up. Before that, I had wandered into a speech in the East Hall. I ain't gonna name the guy. He's this dude from Facebook, and he's standing up there giving a speech about how you can stick it to brokers and what we all need to get together and do. The typical is he's from Facebook, and from what I gather from listening to him, he's very full of himself. Standing up there talking, and I listened to it for about 10 minutes, and I walked away. I'm like, yeah, I can watch this all day on YouTube. So we walk away, and I walk down the hall, and we wander into this Adam Wakefield seminar, and he's talking about the same thing except for from a very different approach. The guy Paul and I sit down, and my wife to watch him. We're listening to him for 10 minutes, and I look at Paul and I said, talking about the same exact thing as that guy was. I said, but what a difference. I said, the business people are in here. I don't know who the hell those people are out there listening to that guy. I don't know what they're thinking. They all need to be in this room with this Adam Wakefield guy. And he looks at me and is like, you're absolutely right. um, his mindset, like, he's one of those dudes, probably things you've heard me say, but not with the same intensity. Like, I'll do this or I'll die trying. Like, you will have to freaking cut my legs off to stop me. He's that intense, and he's successful. He's successful, very smart. So I don't know what else I can say about him, but it struck me as just I don't know why it hit me so hard, the stark contrast between the two things that were going on at the same time. So right away I thought, oh, next year if I come, I spend more time on this side of the building, going to these seminars and speeches from these people in these they're more like auditorium rooms, whereas the other ones are just a stage set up in the truck show. I'm like, okay, this side of the building is where you come to learn. That side of the building is where you come to bitch and moan. So, yeah, that's one of the biggest things I took away, and I'm going to look further into what that guy offers. Um, who knows? Maybe someday we'll end up talking. He's friends with Paul. He had Paul on as on some kind of panel or something to talk about things the night before. Went to a dinner with him, so I don't know. Maybe someday something will come of that. We'll touch base or something. But Innovative Logistics Group is the name of his company. If you want to look at it, and I'm sorry it escapes me where he's from. I know in the southeast somewhere. Before that, I had watched this thing in this was the south speech area or whatever up on the stage from this new kind of factoring company that was TCS, not like TCS, the fuel card, TC, something like that, TCD, TCS. They're a factoring company, but it's a different premise. Their whole premise is we're gonna factor you with cryptocurrency. We have our own token, right? So you send in your bills, and we immediately pay you with our crypto token, and then you do whatever you want with that token, apparently. And I'm listening to this guy, and the more he goes on, the deeper he gets into things. I'm like, people just can't wait to be ripped off fast enough. He's using all the right buzzwords, but every time he explains something, he's just digging himself a deeper and deeper hole. Like somebody asked the question of, how can we be sure your crypto won't go the way of like FTX and all this and that? And he says, well, FTX was. He made some kind of false statement about it was a scam that one company. I don't remember what he said, but he was kind of wrong. It was a scam from the get go, from the beginning. And we're not part of that system. In fact, we're completely unregulated and outside of the system, and blah blah blah, and this and that. And everybody kind of looks at each other like, okay, that doesn't make me feel any better that there's absolutely no regulation on you. So I turn in $5,000 of freight bills to you one day. Who's to say the next day your token doesn't go to zero and you're gone with my money? So um, the people are kind of eating it up. I don't see the need for that. Um, he kept using the buzzword of transparency, that this increases transparency in the transaction. And I've looked at it from every angle, and I can't see how it does a damn thing about any kind of transparency. It doesn't make anything apparent to you more or less so than it did if you were doing the transaction in US dollars. A payment from a broker is a pretty simple transaction, or a factoring company, I should say, not a broker. Payment from a factoring company is a clean and easy transaction. I don't know how it's any more or less transparent doing it in crypto. Well, possibly less, but not more so. Um, it's an A to B type thing. You can transfer U.S. dollars just as fast. Um, Now you're adding increased risk of their token, you know, going to nothing. So I don't know why that needs to be a thing at this point. Now, uh, I distinguish, greatly between blockchain technology and crypto. The two can be separate from each other. There's probably a good place for blockchain technology in the industry, um, but I don't see how we need crypto transactions at this point. Um, but hey, if people want to do it, the guy didn't. hmm, he didn't seem to have quite the right answers. So I don't think it's there yet. And then I went to Asian Mice seminar. Um, I'd run into him a few times and before this, and I'm like, we're coming, we're gonna sit in the back and heckle you. He's like, don't come, don't come. I don't even know what I'm gonna say. I didn't even write down a speech. I'm like, well, that ought to be good then. More things to heckle you about. So I tell you what, we went and we sat near the front. It was standing room only, and the guy freaking killed it. He had four people on stage. Three of them were owners of trucking companies, and one of them was the guy that runs his Big Rig Tees company. And the topic of the seminar was um, social media, using social media in your business. And right off the bat, he opens up with the statement of, if you're not using social media to promote your business, you'll be out of business in 10 years. And everybody just kind of looks at each other like, ooh, really? And then he went on to back it up. Like, he's right. Social media is, whether we like it or not, becoming a huge part of every single business. And he had these three guys, the three trucking company owners that he had on stage, all gave their story of where they were a few years ago, and then their journey through the industry as they started using social media to promote their business and in recruiting and with their customers. And it's just a skyrocket scenario for every one of them. One guy started with six or seven trucks. Excuse me a second. And in a matter of a few years, he's up to over, what do you say, 375 trucks. And same story, all three of them. I think he was probably the bigger one at 375, but all of the other ones are multiple. I think the smallest one was, what was it, like 60 trucks or something, something like that. But um, just elaborating on, and they're all just dudes, regular people like me, or you. Most of them are old school guys where they're very resistant to social media and technology. Didn't want to do it. Don't know a thing about a Facebook or Twitter, YouTube, any of that. And just one after another just proceeded to absolutely freaking kill it with their business once they started using social media. So went through a lot of different scenarios about all of that. And boy, it changed my outlook on a lot of things. And kind of got, I was there, my wife was there, and Paul from Freight Connect. We kind of all three hung out for the weekend, and we're all just kind of looking at each other like, man, we're dropping the ball. We're leaving it all on the table. And we started afterwards. We sat down and talked, and we're like putting the pieces of the puzzle together of what each of us individually are doing and what we're leaving on the table by not taking advantage of the social media aspect of it more. And I'm thinking that the only difference between me and the guy with 370 trucks is $20 million. Roughly. Um, he did it no different than me. He's in almost the exact same position I was, or this I'm in now than he was, what, 6 or 7 years ago. And all three of these guys, most of their trucks are show trucks, so it's not like they're, excuse me, I'm having trouble with my voice. Everybody I know that went to the truck show come home sick, so somebody was spreading something around there. But really got me thinking. Came home, fired up to kill it, and with all these new ideas, and and I got sick right away. So kind of, and had kind of a challenging situation come up with a situation with a driver right away that ended up being, uh, you know, some things cost a lot of money. So it kind of ruined my mindset right away when I got home. So I'm trying to get that going and get back into it here. And oh, by the way, this background that I'm using today, uh, I made this up for something. Pay close attention to it. I think you're gonna see it hopefully again here in the near future on something. So um, tell me if you like it. I like the diamond plate scenario. Um, yep, Jersey trucker Troy Massey. Yep, he's got a lot of trucks. Yeah, he's 300 and some trucks. But let me go back. I've been missing the comments. I'm sorry. I was get the rambling here. CJ Hudson, the Bills super sleeper truck was awesome. The pictures and the videos just don't do it justice. You got to see that sucker in person. He does all trade shows. He's from Las Vegas, so he does the electronic shows and stuff like that. Keep an eye out for that truck. His name is, oh shoot, was it Ron or Roger? Oh, what's wrong with me? I think it was Roger. Stuart, good afternoon. Jersey Trucker, go Bills. Hey DIY, hope all is well. It was Jersey Trucker introduced me to something called Youngling or Yingling. I don't know how you say it, but it was uh, mighty tasty. RBK in the house, what's up, everyone? OCD and Freight Broker, afternoon. Thank you. Yeah, so CD and Freight Broker, a lot of the things we had talked about when we did our show and some in privately via email, kind of all tied into what Asian Mice seminar was about, and things started to make sense on how to put things together. Um, so we're gonna start it. I need some help though. I'm gonna have somebody, my wife, help me with the social media thing. I'm back. Yep, audio is good. Okay. Um, did you guys hear the thing after my intro? Did you hear my Archie Bunker song? That's kind of how I'm feeling today. Little nostalgic. Oh, DB 215's in here. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Grade 8. Up at Shawano Lake here for Dad's burial tomorrow and Easter Sunday. Oh man. Oh, a burial on Easter weekend. Man, I'm so sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Oh, and then on the last day, met up with a straggler who got to the truck show after they finally closed, the Shannon Thomas Trucking. We went out to dinner. Her and I and Snorlord and my wife went out for a quick dinner before we all headed home. So got to see her and her new pup. My name is Nobody in the House. Good afternoon. Uh, Cheap Freight Hauler says the dog's a corgi. Okay. Snorlord in the house. Woo, let's go, Mats. Yep, it was a good time. Trucking to Fitness. Hello, everyone. Did the person at the Uber booth escalate your complaint? I was gonna ask him that, but there was nobody there. They gone. They gone. I don't even know why they had a booth there. What a joke. This trucking life, I wanted to go this year, but no joke, I blew up every toilet between Indiana and Tennessee. Just didn't feel like it the weekend. Well, if you didn't go feel like that going in, you would have felt like that coming out, because I was pretty sick. Just feeling better today. With both feet. Hello, hope all is well. Oh, I owe you a phone call, sir. I forgot about you. I'll call you back. Lester Brown says, "Cover me takes new entry out of New Jersey." Probably. We'll get that. That's a thing I get asked regularly about, is new entrant insurance. So I'm gonna see if that guy will come do a show on that. Hello from Lamar, Colorado. Well, hello. Go Bills. This trucking life, 20 to 30% off. My first year was nearly 18K with Progressive. Man, this would have been nice. Yeah, I imagine, the higher your bill is, the higher that percent. If you're looking at a $30,000 bill, you're probably going to be towards that, 20, 30%. If you're lower, 18K is high, but it's not astronomical for a first year. I've certainly seen way higher. I know a guy right now that's paying 27,000 in his second year with a clean record with Progressive. So I don't know why some are so much higher. DIY is going to replace his facsimile machine with technology. No, we're never letting the fax machine go. Never letting the fax machine go. Cheap Freight Hauler sounds like bobblehead. Possibly. I won't confirm or deny that. The person was on several different panels. Stuart Hobby Trucker, mindset is everything. It is. It is. And the stark contrast of the two different things going on at the same time on the same topic and the different approaches is just a reminder sometimes. And I had a great mindset coming home. And then kind of right away got kicked in the nuts by something. By a mule, with something that happened, and then not feeling good on top of it. So I'm trying to get straightened out here, and kind of more or less doing this live stream here to help me get my mind right. RBK says there are 3 guys that do 10 miles per gallon plus documented, but they kind of running light and a lot of bobtail. They hang out in 9 miles per gallon plus Facebook group. Okay. Well, hell, 9 even. I guess take the approach, if I can kind of learn one thing from them, I'm down with that, definitely. 2 Volvos and a Cascadia. Okay. Heading home from work, I just saw Shannon in that International. Oh, cool. Yeah. So Shannon got a brandy new International LT diamond spec International. She hit the road with it. So maiden voyage turned in that dart truck. So okay, I think I can talk about this over dinner Saturday evening. We talked a lot about that dart lease, and I just had to kind of sit there shaking my head, and we were all just astonished at some of the things they do. I'll let her give all that away, and I just couldn't believe it. Uh, Dennis, what's up, folks? Thanks for coming in. Pay me in bricks. Yeah, there you go. Uh, Tolga in the house. How is everyone? Pretty good. Pretty good. You're talking about Troy Massey. He's got a lot of trucks. Nice guy too. Yeah, he was in the truck show. I think he won, didn't he? Then it says, "Hope it ain't that Legionnaires." Ooh, how would I know if I got Legionnaire's disease? Don't you don't you die from that? Yingling is good beer. It was. Thank you. I seen you brought a refill for us. If you need help, I know a guy. He's really good with curb appeal. Oh, that's a touchy subject around here. Come on, come on. We're not over that yet. Uh, did you see the cat booth? New block being built for 3406E and new engines. If you trade in the old block, I did see the cat booth. They were busy, as you can well imagine. So I just kind of stood back and looked at it and thought, wouldn't that be nice? and then and then moved on because I got nothing to turn in to get me one. So um, people were well, either your booth was really busy or nobody wanted anything to do with you. So there was all these. I bet you there was at least 20 of these. I don't know if they were Korean or Chinese or somewhere from Southeast Asia of these booths there selling obviously Chinese imported parts. But they would have just such random parts, right? Like they'd have a table with nothing on it, and behind them a white pegboard with like uh, a fuel sending unit strapped to it, and then over here maybe like a little wiring harness. That's it. And then two people sitting at the table who wouldn't even look at you on their phones. Obviously, Southeast Asian. I don't know. And then maybe like two brochures on the table. I'm like, well, what are you doing here? Get up and try to sell something. You know, your booth does not speak for itself. What the hell you're selling? Um, so I mean, if I paid that kind of money for a booth, like I'd be trying to talk to everybody, sell them everything I got. Oh my gosh, Scott, Rolla, $100 super chat. What did I do to deserve that? Well, thank you so much. Wow, thank you so much. That's awesome of you. Um, James Limba, hello. Thanks for all you do for your drivers. Well, thank you. Um, so uh, I'm so excited about something that I'm working on here, and this green screen behind me is going to be a part of it. I hope. I hope that design works. Um, I don't know. Mm, I gotta wait. I gotta wait to talk about it, but we'll see. Um, and it's for drivers. It's the first, whatever it is. I won't say what it is. It's the first one of its kind done by a driver for other drivers. All the other ones are done by big corporations. So I'm stoked about it. But damn it, I can't talk about it yet. We're working on it. We're exchanging emails more yet today. So it'll be my Mona Lisa. Not really. Not really. Jersey Trucker, I learned a lot at the show, working on my business cards now, website, and planning to start visiting companies around me to see if I can get some work. So, Jersey Trucker and I met up in freaking awesome guy, by the way. Um, uh, you probably don't want anybody to know a situation you're in, but um, we could say injured in the line of duty for public service. You know, that's a pretty big sacrifice. And we talked a lot about the trucking and trucking company, and um, I think I need to start learning some things from Jersey Trucker. Um, he's doing things right. So anybody that needs some coaching on your business, you get with Jersey Trucker. This trucking life, Charles String was my agent. Okay, was that? Yeah, that was progressive though for your first year, right? My green screen is glitching. Yeah, this color shirt doesn't really work well with this green screen, so I'm gonna have to wear, I think, a darker colored shirt when I use a green screen like this. Thanks again, Scott. Man, that's awesome of you. Um, Cat will even take the Detroit diesel and Cummins blocks of similar EPA generation. Really? I did not know that. Ooh, they just instantly bumped up the value of like Series 60 cores and like N14s. Man, mm, if I had a bunch of extra money laying around, I'd probably go for that. That's uh that's a good that would be a good deal. Did you see the tires on Clark Reed's Cascadia? Not sure which booth he was in, but he drives for Nussbaum. We did look a little bit at the Nussbaum truck. Uh, so there's a lot of most of the show trucks were outside. Show trucks, not really my thing. I appreciate the amount of work that goes into them. I just don't. Oh well, I find beauty in the older trucks. Like there's a lot of older internationals there. You saw some pictures of the ones I saw. Uh, the newer ones, I don't know. It's just not my. I'm not saying it's stupid or it sucks. It's just not my thing. There was some really cool trucks inside. That one with the goth theme with the old Dodge pickup on a flatbed. That sucker was cool. That was the first picture I posted, and I thought the trucks that were done up for the veterans from the big megas. Werner had one, of course. Prime had one. Um, Several other companies. I thought those are pretty awesome. Uh, I wouldn't mind driving a truck like that, uh, like the POW trucks and stuff. Insult investor in the house, yo. But I didn't look at the tires on that Nussbaum truck. What was special about them? I guess I should have paid closer attention. Dan's Hotshot Trucking says they weren't there to sell; they were there to ping everyone's phone and collect data. Probably. And if you're so, some of them were just selling. They'd have like some axle spindles set out on the table, and I'm like, well, not just everybody's going to stop at that booth. I guess you're hoping to make one connection with somebody from like a Fleet Pride or a distributor or something. You're trying to looking to make that one connection for the weekend because you're a very specialized item sitting out there. Um, Killian says, "Good to see you. I wish I could have made it to the show. Some of us actually have to work, though, so go figure." Well, hey, sucker. Haha. Scott says, "You put out awesome stuff." Well, thank you. Thank you. Man, I had a feeling there was more people at the truck show. So a lot of time I didn't have my hat on. Uh, Not too many people seen me without my hat. So a lot of people probably didn't recognize me, which was okay. But I would have liked to meet some more subscribers. So maybe next year. Um, Everybody I met from YouTube was super cool, man. Um, I've hung out with Asian Mai before, hung out with Snorlord. It was cool to meet Jeffrey Like. Super Trucker Dan was super nice. Met Jackknife TV for the first time. We hung out. Um, Just Trucking was super nice again. I mean, I think that's like the third time we met. Every time we meet, he's nothing but super nice to me. So, and from what I understand, I found out that Trucking with Tay was there. I would have liked to met him. I didn't know he was like. There were so many people there from YouTube. I didn't know were there. Probably hanging out in different areas. That place is so freaking big. I bet you we walked 10 miles over the course of 3 days because we walked the whole thing more than once, and you could easily miss somebody there. But I like Trucking with Tay. I'd like to met up with him. He's a pretty cool guy. Um, Cheap Freight Hauler says, "Correct, Dan." Or they were taking pics of me tech so they can of technology so they can replicate it. Seen it a lot at the truck show in Atlanta a few years ago. These people, they would just sit there buried in their phones. They wouldn't even look at you, which I don't know if they were forced to be there. They certainly weren't enjoying themselves. So maybe they were just there because they were forced to be. But it just seemed really. Even Paul commented. He's like, "Why would you pay all this money for these booths and then not try to sell anything?" So I'm thinking they weren't there of their own choice. But I don't know. Kevin Imp says, "You remind me of Dale Gribble from King of the Hill." Which one is he? Is he one of? I'm only the mumble like this. Is that Dale? I've only seen King of the Hill a couple times. Uh Sorry, I'm so nasally today. Just getting over this cold. Um, what else? What else? Talked about the crypto. Oh, the smoker. Okay. Oh man, I don't smoke though. I can picture him, but I can't think of what his voice sounds like in his cadence. Probably just like mine. The food is super expensive at Matt's. A hot dog is like $8. So, needless to say, we didn't we didn't eat much there. If you're gonna go, decide far in advance, like months in advance. Book your hotel room early. I booked my hotel room like 3 weeks in advance and still got raked over the coals. But I didn't want to stay 40, 50 miles away and have to drive that every day. We, I saw hotel rooms that were $400, $500. I didn't pay that much. We got it at some cheaper hotels, but the weather sucked. Freaking tornadoes, high winds. Um, we didn't get a lot of sleep the whole weekend. The hotels were loud. Can you imagine staying in a hotel full of about 300 truck drivers? Gosh dang, it's a little loud. And every time my wife went out to the car by herself, she got freaking heckled or picked on by some freaking idiot. So I had to not let that happen. Um, Mark Ely, hey brother, how you doing, Mark? Scott's on my way to Stockton, California. Oof. Okay. I think Clark was in the Run Smart booth with Henry Albert. Okay with you if I post a TikTok video link for the tires? Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Uh, are you a are you a moderator so you can post? I can't see in StreamYard here. If you got a wrench, let's see if I can give you one. Try to post it. See if you can post it. Um, what was I talking about? Mm, hotels. So we went to this Mediterranean restaurant one night. We went to um, an Italian restaurant another night. That was okay. I don't know. It was very busy anywhere you went, and it was by the time we were done at the show every day, we were ready to crash at the hotel room because that's a lot of walking and being on your feet. And after the first day, Friday and Saturday was a lot of people there, and it got hot real fast in there. So the only thing I really bought and brought home for myself was I bought a new leather belt. Didn't really buy anything else. Um, Looked at a lot of stuff. Nothing really appealed to me. I didn't. So I went trying to find that one thing. Didn't really find it. I was surprised by the lack of like what do I call it, like gizmos, gadgets. So all the different aerodynamics type stuff. There was a lot of like camera systems, probably 15, 20 different booths of that, and tire pressure monitoring systems. But like the gizmos, like air tabs, like your wheel covers, there was very little of that. I saw one place selling wheel covers. Um, I don't think I saw anybody selling aerodynamic devices. No trailer skirts, no air tab type things, no, you know, fairing kits or ground effects for your trucks, anything like that, which I would have thought would be a bigger selling type thing. That's all the kind of stuff I wanted to like stuff to improve your efficiency type things. But I tell you what, they couldn't get enough factoring companies there. Holy crap. Or like places that'll finance your equipment, stuff like that. Tons of it. Just one after another. Did the room have complimentary bags for the truckers? No, it didn't even have a bag to put your dirty laundry in. Kenworth and Western Star had trucks outside to be driven, loaded 65,000 gross. It was shut down because a person couldn't drive an 18 speed and crashed into a car. Oh my gosh. They, they should know that by now. You got to bring an automatic. Yeah. Yeah, Western Star had a fair bit of equipment there. But I was really surprised International was a no-show. Any APUs there? Yes, Green APU was there, of course, and Justin was at their booth for In and Out several times. Had a meet and greet over there, and um, you know, oddly enough, not a lot of APU type systems there. I'm trying hard to think if I can remember another one. I think there was one other one. Can't remember which one. It might have been Thermo King, but not even like battery powered or gel packs or electronic APU type stuff. I saw one display only of battery technology type. I wanted to see some of the new battery technologies. There's maybe one battery place there. So in my mind, like there was a lot of pertinent things that were just absent. Music City Transport. Need me an air scale? See anything like that? Yeah, there was a couple different air scales. I think Right Way was one of them. I remember who the other one was. Um, some of them digital. There's probably 3, 4 different scale type scenarios there. uh, most of it like a digital thing. Um, Green APU was there, yes. Any solar panels for top of the truck? I didn't see any of those either. I did find a company that I know I'm going to be doing some business with. They take control panels and displays from reefer units and they refurbish them and they guarantee it's better than brand new, better than OEM. I got their flyer here somewhere. I don't know what I did with it. Um, for about $200, they'll rebuild a controller for a reefer unit. I told the guy these freaking carriers, I love them, but God bless them. Their stupid displays fade out after about a year on the 7300s and 7500s. He's like, yeah, we can fix that. I got one in my shed right now, waiting to go in because I was trying to find a place to refurbish it because that freaking new display is $1,200. I'm like, I'm not gonna keep doing that. There ain't no way, no how. So I'm gonna be sending them that display. I'll probably wait a little bit, but any booth for the super single tires? There was several tire manufacturers there. A lot of the off-brand. So Double Coin had a big booth there. Falcon, that Falken, and then a bunch of import knockoffs, a bunch of the Chinese um, tire manufacturers. I didn't even recognize a few of the names. And then um, there's one place that did recaps. It wasn't Bandag. I can't remember who it was, but as far as like Bridgestone or Goodyear or Michelin, was Michelin there? I think one of the majors might have been there. It might have been Michelin, but I'm not even sure. Yeah, but it was mostly the Chinese knockoffs. Mark Ely Carrier has them for 1,500 a strip. What's that? The solar panels? Yeah, it must be. But that should be, I would think that would be a big market because you got the harnesses, you got the solar panels, you got the charge controllers, um, inverter. That's a lot of different things you could sell, and I've seen, the Nussbaum trucks have them, and at least they used to. I don't know if the newest ones do. And then I know Grade 8 Transportation here in the chat had that, so it sounds to me like that would be a bigger thing people would want to look at. Roy Powell was there with an EPU, 48 volt lithium. Okay, I didn't see that. Happy Good Friday to the flock. Yeah, happy good Judas the broker. That's funny. Yeah, happy Easter, everybody. Hope you're all getting home for happy Easter dinner with your family. Did anybody find it kind of frightening that it is a holiday weekend and the rates did not spike this week? Yeah, that shows you just how bad they don't need us. You shouldn't need an inverter to charge the battery. Solar panels run in DC already. Yeah, but it's an electronic component, that you run then your 110 stuff off of is what I'm saying. It's kind of all goes together as an electronics type company. Um, yeah, I was looking. I'm thinking, it's Easter weekend. We're gonna hit some home runs on some freight here, and nah, not so much. Didn't happen. Just got worse yet. So, um, yeah, freight sucks, but that's not the topic for today. Um, Cheap Freight Hauler says, I don't have a wrench. I posted the link, but it's just letters. Okay, let me see. Let me get on my phone here because I can't give out wrenches in StreamYard. See if I'm signed in to the right account. Here we go. Now I can get you a wrench. Add as moderator. There you go. You should have a wrench now, Cheap Freight Hauler. You can post that link. Would you run a new Chinese tire if it was $100 a new tire? I tell you what, in certain positions, I'm not really looking to run Chinese steer tires. I did that once, chewed them things up with the quickness, but I ran those Aeolus trailer tires one time. I mean, they didn't do bad. I think they actually did fairly well. Um, what else? Every once in a while, out of need because you can't find another tire, I would throw a Chinese trailer on a certain position or whatever. One of the drivers put a set of Chinese drive tires on. It was a knockoff of a Yokohama. It had the Yokohama tread design. Started with a G. Was it Genesis or G, something like that? Chewed those things up in a big hurry. But for $100, I've gambled $100 on dumber things. Uh, I figure it's probably still better than a recap. Well, only way to know would be to try it. I'm not too afraid to try new things, especially if it's not a lot of money. Uh, Snorlord says, yeah, one was lucky to hit a single or a double, no home runs. Yeah. Yeah, we were talking a little bit about freight today. uh, is there a future truck show booth for you and Cash is King Trucking? Oh, we're gonna have to take up donations for that because they don't give away them booths at Matt's for free. They are, I think I heard somebody say that the bigger spots, like where the big Kenworth display was inside, somebody said that spot was like $500,000. I have no idea if that's true. I just heard somebody say it. It very well could be. I suppose they figure the OEMs got that kind of money. But what I do want to see happen is Paul should be speaking at a seminar next year. So this Adam Wakefield guy, Paul is close to him. Paul presented at one of his events. And what I'd like to see is that Adam Wakefield speak and then Paul to follow it up because they kind of go together. And I mean, I think you got to be invited to speak. Um, I think Asian Mai got invited to speak because he was like the biggest social media type YouTube person. Or I don't know if you buy your way in. I don't know how it works, but um, I would be inclined to do it 1 year if hmm, I don't know. We'll see what that takes at some point. Oh, Mark Clark in the house. Hello, all. Thanks for coming in. Okay, Cheap Freight Hauler posted the TikTok link to that. Can I copy and paste that? I can't. To that guy's tires. Mark Ely says, I got 296,000 miles on my drive tires. They're Bridgestone Pio tire. Hoping to get 30,000 more miles. I don't see why you shouldn't. WCF Invader, any battery APUs? I didn't see one, but a guy just said earlier in the comments here that there was a guy there with an EPU, 48 volt lithium. I did not see it. Any alternatives to AGM batteries in the battery APU? I did not see that either, but he said the guy had lithium ion. No need to replace mine. Okay. Maybe the two Asian guys at the booth were Chinese agents on a mission to spread a new virus. I tell you what, if that's what they were there for, mission accomplished. Because I think that's 4 people I've talked to now that got sick upon returning home. And I got a text from my wife today that now she is sick also. So there you have it. But she probably got it from me. I found out the other day that Super Trucker Dan got sick. And I'm like, oh, I hope I didn't give it to him. But I'm like, hey, what if he gave it to me? Dennis says, I ran Chinese tires one time and got half the mileage I can get out of a Michelin. I believe it. Like the double coins have terrible rolling resistance, at least the ones I've seen. It's hard to find the rolling resistance numbers on some of these tires. Snorlert says, I put a double coin on a trailer once, lasted 3 months. I believe it. My best friend, I'm nearing 300,000 miles on my Michelin tires, and they're still looking good. I'm impressed. I had a set of Bridgestone. What's the deep lug one? The 476 EL or something, 726 EL with a 1 full inch of tread depth. I go 400,000 miles one time. I was pretty impressed by that. But I mean, they got a high rolling resistance first starting off, so I lost a lot in fuel. Judas the broker says, with this market, I put some Armstrong ADH drives on my truck. Okay. With both feet. Hey, Killians, did your fuel mileage come back after you took off those double coin drive tires? I think he said that they did. Dennis says, soft casing like running a bias ply on what's that? The Chinese tire? Okay. Angel says Adam Wingfield. No, I think it's Adam Wakefield. Let me verify that. I'm going to do a quick search, but I'm pretty sure it's Adam Wakefield. If I could learn to spell. Innovative Logistics Group. Yep, Adam Wakefield. Nope, that's not him either. I know that's his name. I guess to get the website for his company, go to the Matt's website for this year and go through the speakers. And you'll find him. Let me just Google that. Matt's 2023. It's not showing up. I'll have to do some more homework on that. Mark says, I got diesel 284 with my discount in Toomsbah, Mississippi. Wow. Nice. Tolga says, Cheap Freight Hauler, I watched your TikTok video and I know why the AI removed that comment. LOL. Okay. Has anyone used lithium ion batteries in their battery APU? If so, would you recommend them or stick with AGM? I think they make some lithium batteries for the EPU, if I'm not mistaken. Dirty Diesel, hey Adam, I was watching your oil analysis video. I've noticed copper rising, but lead and iron are still very low. I'm guessing oil cooler may be throwing copper in oil. That would be my first thought. Um, I had that happen once when with my C15 cat. The oil cooler was going, and it started leaching copper into the oil. So um, that would be my first thought. Is anything else? Because if it was like if it was anything else, you should see a surface metal rise first to wear down to get to the copper. So that'd be my first thought. My best friend says, WSCF Invader, I have lithium batteries on an idle-free EPU. I'm not a fan. Okay. Any owner-operators using CNG? About 75 miles from here, there's a company that runs a lot of CNG trucks for all their, they do a lot of spotting and a lot of, local shorter type moving trailers around. They got a bunch of CNG trucks. From what I hear, they're happy with them until it comes time to work on them. Don't know what their issues are. I was worried it was bearings, but no, all other war metals have been low. 300,000 miles on my Series 60 Detroit Reman. Okay. Is it how elevated is it? Is it like just flagged, or is it flagged as a problem? I guess you just got to keep an eye on the trend. Are you also running a bypass filter? Sometimes if you're doing extended oil drain intervals, that'll creep up on its own too. Cheap freight hauler, when the viewer was talking about the drag tires, probably the AI accepted it as humiliation. Oh yeah, TikTok, that happens, I guess. My 2014 with a DD15 had higher iron in the last oil analysis. Hope it breaks before the extended warranty runs out in June. Well, maybe you got to help it along. Help her along. Went right over my head. Okay. Now that it's bothering me, I gotta see if I can find that Adam Wakefield guy. I have to know. Yeah, okay. Innovative Logistics Group, Charlotte, North Carolina. I think that's him. That's the guy. So Facebook is Innovative Logistics Group LLC. And oh, you're right. Adam Wingfield. Why did I keep saying Adam Wakefield? He might have been there too. He's with Live Logistics. So they both might have been there. So I yeah, that's the name you want. Adam Wingfield. Oh, they have his Matt's speech on his Facebook page here. I don't know if it's the whole thing. The guy gave a great speech. Yeah, I'm looking at him. That's him, Adam Wingfield. You are correct, whoever said that. So I was accidentally promoting the right guy, the wrong guy. Oh, well, somebody got some free advertising, didn't they? Oh, my voice is failing me. I'm still not over being sick, apparently. So I'm gonna cut this short. Cash is going live in about 50 minutes here. He's got it set for 6 p.m. So everybody come in and join Cash. And if I start to get my voice back, I'll maybe pop in or something. But everybody have a great day. Thanks for coming in. Thank you, Scott, for the super chat. Appreciate it. We'll talk to everybody later.